NCL was one of the 40 laboratories. Now we did the transformation here. How do you do it in 40 laboratories? And they were all spaced all over India with different culture, different ways of doing things, etc. So it was a kind of a heterogeneous mix, number one. Number two, how do you create unity out of that diversity was my biggest challenge. Secondly, all those 40 labs were behaving like individual laboratories. No two laboratories will talk to each other. The third was they will compete with each other, with the same customer, and so on. So I said this will not do. It has to be team CSIR, one CSIR. There were no inter-laboratory projects, anything, etc. And what I did, and this is a record by the way, that in the very first year, within the first 9 months, I visited all 40 laboratories from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and addressed them, on what we need to do and so on. Secondly, I created CSIR Vision 2001, where I said this is what we want to be in 5 years' time.
The new millennium actually.
Yeah. So 1995 I took over, 96 we did that vision, and it was 2001. And I remember Ratan Tata looked at it and he said this is like a business-like document, etc. Dr. Kalam looked at it, he was the member of the advisory board, and he said no, not 2001, 2020, Vision 2020. So I said, politely I disagreed with him. I said, sir, in 2003 I retire. I will like to be judged before I retire. So I don't want to set any date that is after my retirement, so that I will be judged. Yeah. And that is how it was done.
You also took some, very bold, you started some bold initiatives in CSIR. Nimitli was one of the big examples there. You had, I think, kite flying ideas and so on. Nimitli was to me a very, very bold exercise, a new model that you created, and I have myself used it very effectively to build the whole hydrogen program. What came to your mind to initiate a Nimitli-like model?
Yeah.
What was the driving force there?
Right. So I will begin by talking about what we did at NCL. See, I personally believe that you must take risks with bold ideas. Just following, you can't have leadership unless you take risks. So for science leadership, you must think of big challenges, go after them, so as to say, And I remember in NCL I started kite flying fund. And kite flying, because they were wild ideas, and I kept 1% of my budget for supporting that. And then there used to be presentations, and people who win it used to wear a kind of a badge, I have won that, and so on. And great scientific outcome came. I remember V.R. Chaudhary even producing a paper in Science as a result of some wild idea that he had. Then when I went to CSIR, I couldn't call it kite flying fund because the parliament was just 1 kilometer away and they would say public funds are being used for kite flying. So I called it New Idea Fund. And I had a powerful committee, Professor Kumar was the chairman and some of the best brains, and where out of the box ideas would be supported. Like for example, we had spin computing, Chandra Kumar having 2 US patents on that, but we were ahead of the time actually, ideas which are ahead of the time. But that was essentially to build that particular culture of being bold and not being penalized for failing. I always tell young people, fail, FAIL, is first attempt in learning. Your best guru is your last mistake, as long as you don't repeat it, right? So that was the spirit. And then what happened was that, again the question came about Indian industry. So Indian industry had worked in a quadrant where technology was known and markets were already established. So technology was known, you had to just copy, and markets were established, you didn't have to do anything. From there, I moved to where technology was uncertain, markets were uncertain. That was, yes, and that was the first time that happened. But the way that happened was interesting. On 28th February, 18 February 2000, I remember getting a call from Yashwant Sinha, who was the finance minister. He said, Mashelkar, this is the first year of the new millennium, and we need to excite the scientific community. So give me something which I will announce in the budget. So I said, sir, how much time do I have? He said, 30 minutes. In Delhi, you get 30 minutes. So I remember calling Sunil and dictating New Millennium Indian Technology Leadership Initiative. Leadership in capital letters. And I wrote very frankly that all that we have done is copying. Even when you look at space, defense, etc., they're all knockdown technologies from Russia and here and there. So we have to take leadership. And if you have to take leadership, then there will be risk because you are doing something that nobody has done. And Indian industry is not prepared to take the risk. Okay? So government should take the risk. But for what? For those projects where if they are successful, they will be transformative, basically. And I gave some examples on what could be done. And I remember this is also very interesting how that program was formed. So after 1 hour, I got a call from his secretary. He said, FM loves it. Finance minister loves it. The only question he asked was how much. Now, I had not thought about how much. But Technology Development Board, as you know, plays safe. They already support technologies which are well up on the TRL and all that. And this is at a concept level breakthrough. So I said, this is gambling. So if it is 50 crore for proven technology, why not 50 crore for gambling? He accepted that. And then I got a call that write 4 or 5 lines which you can read out in the parliament.
In the budget.
Budget speech, you know. Interesting part of it was Dr. Murli Manoj Joshi, the Minister of Science and Technology, heard it for the first time.
In the budget.
Because it did not go through him.
Right.
It was a deal between me and FM.
Right.
Trust.
Wow.
Planning Commission, who writes the check, did not know about it, and so on. So in India, things can happen like that. And immediately was based on what I like to call as talent, technology and trust.